Chairman. Secretary Mayorkas, first, I'd like to ask you, uh, Congressman Pfluger asked you a moment ago how many suspected terrorists have crossed the border, and you said you'd be glad to answer in a classified context. Why can't you answer that question in public?
Congressman, the information is indeed classified, and some of it is also law enforcement sensitive on a more general basis. These are determinations that are made across the agency, and I should note, if I may, Congressman, that I believe it was in late July that we provided a briefing to this committee with respect to the requested data. So it is
Okay.
information that we already have provided.
Thank you, sir. Let me ask you this. Many have commented, and sometimes it devolves into a debate over numbers, whether it's 1,000,003 illegal crossings, who's recidivist, and how many really come in, who's really been released into the country. And of course, we have now the latest thing with the Haitians in the last week or so. Is all this the plan?
I'm not sure I understand your question, but let me say the following. The plan that we have is a multi-part plan. One is to address the root causes of irregular migration. Two is to ensure that there are safe, orderly, and humane pathways so people do not have to take the dangerous, perilous journey to make a claim of asylum that our laws that Congress passed recognize. And third is to rebuild our asylum system here in the United States. At the same time, Congressman, we do enforce our immigration laws. Those are not only the laws of humanitarian relief, but the laws of accountability for those who seek to enter illegally and do not have a claim for relief under law.
Thank you, sir. And I guess what I'm getting at is just that. Now that I look back at some of your testimony, when you were before us back in March, you went through something very similar. You talked about your plan to address. You always use the term address migrants at the border, and that you said we're executing on all fronts to address the situation at the border. When you spoke before Senate Appropriations Committee in May, you said something very similar. We have a three-part plan or three pillars to our plan, and you gave that again, more or less. You've done that repeatedly in testimony before Congress, that you have a plan underway to address the surge of migrants at the border. That comment was before the Senate Homeland Security Committee just in July 27. And so I guess what I want to understand is, are the results that we are seeing, are they the results of your plan? They're the planned results. Is that correct?
Congressman, let me give you a very important example of the
Before you go off
execution.
into an example, sir, could you give me a yes or no? Are these the results of your plan? Yes or no?
Congressman, the plan is underway and is being executed. And as one of your colleagues mentioned, over the last month, we did see a decrease because we were implementing tools that are part of that plan. Back to my example of a measure that we have taken that is very significant and that, quite frankly, is unprecedented. What is not unprecedented is recognition of the problem in our asylum system, that it takes years and years between
I'm
the
not looking
time
to
of
debate your
encounter and the
plan.
time of ultimate resolution.
Yeah,
And
at
one
this
of the
point,
things that we
Secretary
have done,
Mayorkas, let me ask you to sort of just not just, I'm sorry, I just have limited time. And I don't want to get into a sort of a down to the granular level of detail. You've made the point to these committees repeatedly that you have a plan and you're executing the plan. And sometimes I think we're talking past each other. I just like your confirmation, sir, that the results we're seeing at the border are the results of the execution of your plan. Is that a fair understanding?
no, it is not. It is a mischaracterization. Congressman,
Then is your
as I
plan
mentioned,
failing? Or is your plan failing?
no, it is not. And as I mentioned, every time have spoken of my plan, and I would welcome the opportunity, if not in today's testimony, but separately with you, to actually complete the answer that I was providing earlier, because it involves very important information with respect to that plan. The plan takes time, and we continue to exercise it thanks to the dedicated men and women of this department.
Do the results that you're seeing and their magnitude suggest to you that your plan is wrong? that your plan is ill-conceived and is plunging the nation into a crisis?
No.
All right, I yield back, Mr. Chairman.